If you or a loved one has been affected by mesothelioma, make sure to call this toll-free number. Also, YouTube is a lot louder than Spotify, I found. I mentioned at the very start of, I think around the start of yesterday's stream, about switching from YouTube to Spotify because of certain stuff. YouTube was Spotify was pumping out. YouTube's not really that much better, if we're being honest. In fact, whenever I'm using it on my phone, I find it, I understand what people mean when they talk about needing certain peripheries in order to make it palatable. And I wish that was more accessible on mobile version, to be quite frank, but 'tis what 'tis. Honestly, there's sometimes where I'm like, I could slow my brain down a bit more in order to get the creative juices flowing, but also, I've said this a lot, it's just like, we live in a fast-paced world, and everyone's like, why don't you sit down and read a book? And I'm like, when would I have the chance to? So I end up scrolling on my phone a lot, but it's all about this, that, the other thing. You know what would help? If I could be like an author, and then I wouldn't have to live in such a fast-paced world. Wouldn't that be wild? If only there was something I could write about. You know? Like, what about... Back to drawing castles. You know, I realize this bridge doesn't make much sense. I like bridges, but this is a very square-faced tower. These are two square-faced towers, and this is a bridge at an angle, which would not be great to access, so I might just go ahead and start drawing this this central tower here. Keep going. I do love seeing the similarities between Castle, who I'm just realizing I still didn't look up the pronunciation of, and Sleeping Beauty Castle. Fun time. Also, what did I copy that I forgot to bring over? Oh. So that's interesting. Alright, back to it. Man, I really have like my fucking mouse close to my mic. I'm sorry if that's like really just ticks off people. You know, sometimes I'm worried if it's like, man, are my streams not popular because of me? And like, the answer would still be kinda yes, but then the idea, it's like, no, you're just like putting noises near the microphone. If you could stop doing that, people could stay for the stream. It would be magical. Dun 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 dun. I don't think that's right. That's right. There we go. Ugh. Oh goodness. Another day. Another day. You know, more work-related stuff. And not to bog anyone down with this, but I feel part of all my begrudgingness with work comes from something I don't talk about a lot, which is like sometimes I'm just like, I think I'm the only one doing my job, which seems like hyperbole, until events occur where it's like, oh, we've had someone call out every day this week, or maybe a coworker says verbatim to me like I'm phoning it in. Like when stuff like that happens, then it's like, oh, why am I trying so much? I could phone it in a bit more. I remember literally seeing, I think there was a TikTok, if not just general funny video, talking about like, I won the lottery, I would get more retail jobs, just so that way I could really just tell off customers when I got entirely sick of it. And that is understandable. I don't deal with that as much working in a hospital, because it's a hospital. Even if someone's rude, it's a hospital. They're not doing great, so I tend to have even a higher tolerance there than I do normally, and I like to try and be a pretty patient guy. Like I'm not even trying to pat myself on the back here. What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to put, I try to legitimately, I'm honestly mostly copy and pasting this just to get a good idea of where it'd all be if they were equally spaced. I will think I'm gonna leave that one though, and then just do this anyway. But I just try to practice it in general, that goes more so in Hobbibble, but I mean, every now and then some wild stuff happens, and even more so, I have worked retail jobs. Like, it's not like I haven't been in the retail space, and it is understandable. It's understandable to say, hey, first chance I get, I'm going to talk very real. I'm going to say what's on my mind. Everyone better stand back. I'm about to start expressing my opinion. Okay. Looking pretty good so far. What else was I thinking of? Besides castles. Which, I mean, to be fair, castles are cool. But besides that, I don't know, something about customer service. Oh yeah, I was gonna be like, I can get the idea from business in a general sense of if we're polite to customers. That was one of the best curves I've ever done. Holy shit. If we're very polite to customers, they'll be more inclined to shop here, right? But I really need to know where the disconnect between I'm being polite to you as my job and I guess you're just allowed to treat me like I'm not human. Where that started happening. Need to course correct. Everyone stop being polite at your jobs ASAP, all at once. Some folks out there will be thrown for a loop. No. I'm so bad. See, I knew this was going to happen after I called out one good curve. But this is more par for the course. So, I shouldn't expect... It's not like I was about to expect every curve I did after that to be first try. What's this one? This look much the same. Yeah, I mean, one reason, on top of just, you know, needing a main setting, a cool main setting for story, making it medieval themed. I feel like one reason I wanted to do, to draw castle, make castle, was in part because after Disneyland, when they went on to do like Disney World and stuff, I feel like a lot of the ways they decided to make castles bigger was just to make them taller. And I do got some beef with Cinderella Castle, because lots of people act like it's so much above Sleeping Beauty, but in reality it's just taller. And in particular, like literally in the middle of Cinderella Castle, there's just a big wall, like this, like you have like, okay, this is up here, right? This would be akin to like this part with a window. To be clear, not all of this, like just this is moved up, or did I just put that, to this section. And then there's towers around it, right? That's not, that's not, there we go. You got your main tower, which everyone loves, yada yada da da da, right? But there's just a wall. It's just a flat wall right there. And on the back, there's like a bunch of windows and everything. It's really cool. But not on the front. On the front, it's just a wall, a blank wall. And I feel like once I started seeing that, I could not unsee it. And now, on top of just the charm of Sleeping Beauty Castle being, you know, older, the first, etc., etc., it also doesn't, you know, suffer from that problem of giant blank white wall in the middle of its design. I like black and whites and contrast and all that stuff, but there's a line, and I think my line might be when you just put a giant brick right in front of me. Look, I'm trying to do this thing because they have like a two-tiered design there. Hi, Sabs. Sabs, how do you feel about giant white brick walls? This is in like the middle of your decorations. I love them. Damn it. Damn it, Sabs. Not you too. Beans. Beans, my inner sanctum has been infiltrated. I have to blow up the island. How many, like, secret bases and shit actually have self-destruct switches? I have to imagine, like, nuclear subs have some kind of, like, fucking scuttle the sub immediately sort of button. In case of active hostile activities, but it's not like I walk into Denny's and they're just like, don't touch our self-destruct button. We know it's tempting. But can't stress enough, you will no longer have access to Denny's after that. Also, you know, let me check something out. Yeah. Shout out to Ziggs. Just because I've seen him in Life Pharaoh videos. And oh, there we go. And he seems cool. Then also, his reactions to the Kirby Directs have been some of my favorite. He knew Starman immediately. He was like, you know, he had some people with him. They were looking at it. Someone was like, what the heck is that? And he was like, oh, that's the high jump dude from like Kirby's Adventure. And I was like, damn. Got it in one. That scores serious points for me. I would have recognized Starman before the Kirby Direct if you had said Super Tooth, because I always thought he was a tooth, and I think we've covered that before. But remains the truth. I'm not gonna pretend like I was a day one Starman fan. I'm not a liar. I'm not cheat. I will be frank here. Yeah, that works. So, anyone who saw Starman and was like, I know immediately who that is in terms of powers and relevance in the Kirby franchise, I was like, hell yeah. Also, I don't think Stealth was here in any capacity last night in terms of like lurking or what have you during stream, you know. He did, however, send me the Maximilian clip. Maximilian dude being just like, what's next, Rocky the Rock? I was joking. Listen, I really can't, I'm not about to be like, yeah, that is ridiculous. No, Rocky is a established Kirby enemy who has been in most of the games, I would argue, because the rock copy ability is one of like the most fundamental, and they kind of established out the gate that they're just fucking random ass Kirby. The first character they announced was Cappy. Cappy is also in a lot of Kirby games. Wouldn't call him like, you know, wouldn't typically call him what's it called? I wouldn't typically call him like recognizable, famous. Even if you like Kirby, you might not immediately recognize Cappy. Okay, that's not going well. So we delete this. I'm so glad when the first direct drop and they announced Cappy, I was like, oh, Cappy main, easy. Cappy's here, and I do still love that he's in the game. I'd be lying if I didn't say, one, I'm gonna play as Kirby. I love Kirby. I don't come to the Kirby series for other things. I come because Kirby's fucking amazing, right? But then what's more, they announced Rick and Starman has my heart now. Rick, I was literally on, like, playing through Dreamland and Crystal Shards being like, bring these guys back, and they did, so. Ugh. My body just be here aching. Clay aching. And that is definitely the stuff where I'm just like, I do not feel like going into my job. Because if I'm in pain and my first thought is I gotta get through work tomorrow, not great. Not great, IMO. You know, I don't know what would be in this tower. I'll have to think of that eventually. As I was drawing this, like, yesterday, I was thinking about how, like, this tower would probably be best for, like, the vault and the High Mage's quarters. I took a drink as I was talking, apologies. Specifically because it's, you know, sturdy, and I imagine, well, I think the bridge, like, there would still be a bridge here, it just would be now obscured behind the tower as it goes directly across into the adjoining keep. But anyway, really, what was I thinking of? But yeah, so this one, importance kind of speaks for itself. That one we'd see. Gotta get this done. Gotta get that up. You know, I always talk about making things, but what if I was... what if I just became a humble farmer and lived off the grid? That could work. I've definitely talked about that before. Don't think it's viable. For me, at least. In multiple ways. So, I was actually thinking, because there's like a abandoned building near me, right? I feel like could describe many places in America right now. But anyway, abandoned building near me, and I was like, what if I started like a bookstore there? And I was like, how do you start a bookstore? I mean, like, imagine it has something to do with, like, a loan, right? And get a business loan or what have you. Those things. But then also, how much of my own money do I need to start off? Do I need to be buying all the books myself out the gate? That's a lot of pressure. I want to be responsible for all those books. Change their book diapers. Feed them their book milk. So that they turn into big, sturdy books. I would... If I had any confidence in it, and any confidence that, like, people would take it, like, somewhat seriously, I'd love to start a bookstore somewhere decently remote. You know, places that might not have a Barnes and Noble right there. That sounds like a dream to me. But again, I don't know much about running stores, so who knows. I was literally just talking about customer service being shitty. But books are fun, so. It's kind of like a fucking catch-22. I don't know. I've always been... I guess it's not a catch-22. I'm always like, what the fuck does catch-22 mean again? Catch-22 in the book Catch-22, which I did try to read in high school to no success. It's about pilots. Well, it's a Catch-22 specifically from, like, the military, at least in this book. I don't know if it's in the real military, right? But and it's like for a pilot to, you know, if a pilot is going to stop flying dangerous missions, then they have to request it They have to request that and then be found insane. But in requesting it, you have shown that you have concerns about your safety. So clearly you're not insane, and thus you have to keep flying missions. It's a kind of no-win scenario. And people kind of, I heard people use like the catch-22 thing before to describe other, you know, no-win scenarios. I don't know how many of those are actually one-to-one with the book, though. I don't know if anyone thinks about it as much as I do. About using the term catch-22 to be completely one-to-one with the book meaning. I do think there's the easy like test of being like, it's a scenario that the moment you enter you've lost via a very fun roundabout in the rules. That would be an easy way to tell, but I could read more classic literature. Plenty of classics I haven't read yet, admittedly. What was I thinking of? I remember trying to read Treasure Island when I was younger too, because you know, pirates. And I liked Treasure Planet for the longest time, so obviously that's a clear recommendation. I think I just got a copy that had like very like shitty small print, because I remember never getting very far. Like I would try, and I felt like I'd be spending forever on just the beginning part. And I remember blaming that on just how many words they would pack in a one page. Which had me like, what the fuck is this? This is wall of text I'm forced to parse. My eyes have never been more assaulted by just a sheer overwhelming amount of words on a singular page. And again, maybe that is just maybe the opening to the original Treasure Planet is just very, very long. And even if I try to read a different printing, that's a bit like, oh, this sucks. Oh, this is not fun. I've decided. Time to watch the Muppets version, as everyone yells at me about. Muppets audiobooks. That probably wouldn't be quite as good. Unless it was Rizzo and Gonzo, because the fact that they only used the framing device of Rizzo and Gonzo being like narrator slash author in a singular Muppet adaptation is a crime. I would single-handedly buy the Muppets and begin production on far more movies with that sole purpose. I do think I'd have to be very careful about noting, you know, how the Muppets Christmas Carol goes if I was trying to do that. Just because part of, as I've heard, what makes Muppets Christmas Carol so good is the fact that it is just kind of A Christmas Carol. Like, it is just kind of a one-to-one adaptation, which definitely wouldn't work for everything. Every classic book. I'm just gonna copy this. There are some things... I don't want to be copy and pasting too much, but... like... angles of towers and stuff, I'm like... oh lord. Someone texted me? No, that was just a random notification from app. Xbox. Yeah, that would work for every adaptation for sure. If you were doing it with Muppets, right? But I definitely think you'd have to keep the spirit of like, okay, this is the kind of humor they use at different parts. That isn't necessarily from the book. This is the tone they take. Everyone's into being book accurate with Frankenstein these days. So Muppets Frankenstein would go hard. Book accurate Muppet Frankenstein would go hard. That being said, as I say that, a lot of murder. I mean, like, it's still Frankenstein. It's a classic. So yes, murder, but also I think you could skirt some things about that. Especially if you had a very silly Muppet tone with it. You know? People would still be like, I'll take my kids to see it, it's a Muppets. Then, oops. Oops. Comic accurate Frankenstein. They'll get over it. Kids and the parents will get over it. The murders. Dracula better? That's a classic I should read. I should read classic Dracula. I would love to do some vampire fiction myself, honestly. I might actually put some in my card games, believe it or not. But I do have reasons, but shut up. Anyway. I do like old-timey... I think vampires having less weaknesses isn't as fun for multiple reasons. Because obviously, without any weaknesses, vampires are just strong as fuck. And are very hard to deal with. But, like... also, I think it's a fun way to see, like, that... a fun way to think of it that, like, a vampire's weaknesses aren't just, like, arbitrary things out of the blue. They are also just the vampire being a total aberration in the aberration, fucked up in terms of the natural world. People would see silver. The silver isn't used as much with vampires as it is with werewolves, but you know, silver fucks them up because silver was seen as a pure metal. So their body rejects it. Sunlight, the big obvious one, they rejected humanity and just nature altogether. So the very sun is toxic to them. I know one of the big things in Dracula is Dracula can't use his powers to cross big bodies of water, like rivers, fresh moving bodies of water. So rivers and oceans, no go for Dracula. Which is another thing of me seeing just the natural world rejecting them. So on and so forth. I know it's not just garlic that fucks up vampires. I think laurels. I think that's also seen as like a whole... I don't know how much garlic is seen as a holy herb per se. It's tasty. But yeah, much the same of like just fucking plants. Doing them in. Or I should also just watch Helsing. Helsing does a good job of that. It's not like Alucard in that show feels weak at any given point. He is plenty strong, but I do believe he also suffers from a lot of the more classical vampire ailments. Which is only slightly offset by the fact that, you know, he kind of has like a many multiple lives sort of situation. So even if something kills him that should kill a vampire, he regenerates anyway. I'm gonna bring this down a bit. Anyway. I do think that's a fun version of a lot of that. Also, time to bring this over here. Wrong one. Uh-oh. Love Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if Final Fantasy VII is like my favorite JRPG. It would be in this short list for that though. I just like the materia system. I shan't hide it. Shan't hide my love for the materia system and how cool I think it is, and how much I wish more, you know, RPGs just allowed you to customize your characters and their abilities like that. I was gonna say like Persona kinda does that, but because that's the thing in Persona, is that most of the characters have their one persona, and then your character is special in that they have the Fool card. I think every Persona protagonist has the Fool card, so you know they get to choose whatever persona they fucking feel like it. I do need to get through. Also, now I'm moving this over more. This is a little too far over, but also I like it. I like it. Well, the king and queen will ask, there's not a king and queen in this castle, but still, the king and queen will be like, why did you make our castle this way? And I'll say I liked it. Many windows, let in the sunlight. No vampires in this castle. Too many windows. To be honest, if someone invited me to their castle and I saw no windows on that bitch, I'd be like, no. This is a I can see a vampire. I know a vampire when I see one. Oh, that's a vampire trap. ASMR. Let's see. I do have. Well, I guess these count as those details. So with that in mind, Lord, you know, let me not. Okay, I won't. I was gonna say something about a patient I had today because they were being not mean to me, but mean to other people. But I won't, because again, it is one of those things that did kind of, if I'm being honest, hit home a bit as I was thinking about working on art. But I'm not about to spill. I'm not about to break patient confidentiality. That's not a thing I do. Like, that's not an oath I take. But still, I really don't like gossip. I've never been a gossip girl. I've always been way more of a go piss girl. Make sure you're looking out for your bladder health, girl. That's me though. That's me. I have no idea what gossip. The most I think I've said this before. I think the most I know about Gossip Girl is just the meme Go Piss Girl. Alright. This is coming along. I definitely, especially if I add, we'll see how much I fuck with it in terms of like blurs and filters and yada 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 after painting. This is coming along. It's getting there. Got more towers to add though. I refuse to allow it to be flat. This right here isn't a tower. This is literally just a dome. Which I don't know how many, you know. I don't know how many castles had domes. I don't think the Parthenon counts as a castle. I'd like to go to Italy. A family of member of mine went to Italy like last year, and like I'm not a very sociable man. I don't like going out a lot. I do like trips. I like traveling in nature and yada yada yada. But you know, I don't make a lot of plans. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little jealous, because they were just going for like a social event, and really, I don't think they have much interest in Italy. On the whole. Meanwhile, between things like JoJo and just history and architecture and art, which I guess you could include JoJo in art, to be fair, but there is Italian art, and then there's just then there's JoJo's, which is art and is set in Italy a lot, which is different. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not. On top of trying to be patient a lot of the time, I definitely don't go around I definitely try not to go around being jealous of people, but fuck, man. It would be cool to go to Italy. I think we should draw this tower first and then add the chimneys. Also, we should add some chimneys like here. I'm starting to think, because this castle is going to end up being a school in the long run. Right? You with me so far? Good. Fucking... I was thinking I could just have the dormitories be like, you know, in the castle. But thinking about how big I want the school to be as a whole, it feels less and less likely, and probably more likely that I probably would put it around like the coast somewhere, around this bay. This is on a bay. It goes out to the ocean. You know, I realized when I looked up this reference, I was looking at like lakes in Germany. Germany doesn't have a coastline, does it? Let me look up a map of Germany real quick. I'm doing this. Map of Germany. Oh, Germany has a coastline. I thought it was like What did I think was north of Germany? Germany coastline. Oh, this is very nice. Europe's got a lot of cliffs on its coastline. But I'm actually kind of surprised. These beaches look straight up tropical. Germany seems nice. I don't know if I'd put it as far up on my Europe travel itinerary as Italy and the Mediterranean personally. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't look like a very nice place to check out. So, because I mean, I like forest, right? Forest, I like woods. They got their own art and architecture, which seems good. I mean, fucking most fairy tales just lift their aesthetic out of Germany, given their historical ties to the place. I literally look at details on the castle, be like, okay, that's what I have to draw.
Yippers!
Happy Animations Day. Well, I'm not animating, Greg. You're probably referring to something else, because I could animate more. But thank you for the sub for 37 months. I'll say what I always say. I've been streaming for too long. In a holistic sense, my streams could be longer individually, but in terms of Animations Day. Ah! I keep doing the thing where I completely forget what the detail I'm trying to memorize and put on fucking on the paper is. Also, now my family's texting me. I'm going to take the moment while I respond. What was I thinking of? To to internalize the detail I've seen. This is wild, because like it's not one-to-one with the bigger tower. So you gotta rewire a bit in terms of that. What was I looking? All right, I had Twitch chat up on my phone. Believe it or not, this might be hard for you to believe. I was looking at chat. I literally think my family is texting me right now to confirm about plans, which I am privy to. It is understandable, but still, during stream makes it inopportune. I think the best way to do this would just be like draw this. Actually, we might do like a whole... I'm gonna get crazy here and work on multiple layers to create the image. I know. I'm insane using layers in my digital artwork. I'm kind of fucked up like that. might have talked about this on stream before too, because I'm literally just lifting this from people asking me about how my day's going just now, which is that, like, people ask about the hospital, me working at a hospital, and like if it's busy. And the answer is yes. It's always busy. It's a hospital. We're not working at McDonald's here. There isn't a lunch rush where it's busy and then it calms down after. People be sick. And they continue to be sick. You know? So. I would say it's more notable when it's not busy. It's very much the other way around. Between that and working at Disney previously, I must be working jobs where it's never ending. Because obviously at something like Disney World, you're not exactly going to get a day where there's like no one in. Working at a big store in Disney World means that chances are people are gonna come on by. That being said, my favorite position at that job was being like just one of the people who would hang out and help people. Cash registers was always too much for me. And then there was the stock rooms, which I never was a big fan of. Like, they were alright, all things considered. But like, eh. It's like, you were just running around the back rooms a lot. Not in a way I can even make a creepypasta about. Alright, there we go. Yeah, and of course, you know, like every job these days, they're like, no phone. So, you would catch up on current item orders, because that's something, you can't catch up on people coming into the store. That's going to be happening all the time. You can catch up on needing certain stock, but you know, you'd catch up and then be like, no phones. So then they were just expecting you to look at Mickey for a while. Truly what wild times. I don't know. I do get, to some degree, I do get it, you know? It's like, you want people focused. Yeah. Meet at your place? Key and Peele sketch where they fight over text. Or Key and Peele are funny. Does anyone know this? I hope Key in particular is doing good. Because like he takes a lot of roles, but Jordan Peele is out here making like artistic horror movies which come across as passion projects. So, and like maybe, you know, Key's whole deal is like, yeah, I love voice acting. I love voice acting in just any role I get. That's fine. I just don't know that about him. I don't know him. So I cannot say. like Jordan Peele making very like well-reviewed horror movies, that's easy to be like, oh, he's doing that purely because he wants to. No one would make it. He was in comedy before. No one would expect this of him, and it's doing phenomenal. So clearly there's passion in it. As opposed to voicing Toad, which maybe genuinely Key voicing Toad was like his whole deal. And I'll tell you one thing, he did a great job. There are like about half the performances in the Mario movie I like. Oh my goodness. Pig, I wasn't expecting. I was raid on my castle. I wasn't expecting this. Oh my goodness. I saw you playing Metroid. Let's give you a shout out. Well, I give Pig a shout out. Everyone think about how Keegan Key is doing right now. Because that's what I was just talking about.
Yippers!
Sanctuary Fortress, a Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Oh! Welcome on in, Raiders. If you don't know, I'm Cahill. I'm an artist. I've been working on card games and comics recently. I do like playing games. I've kind of been doing a lot more art recently than games, but I don't know. You tell me, would you show up if I was playing a game? What about Parrot, though? Someone redeem a Parrot? If someone redeemed a Parrot, I could definitely bring out a Parrot. But yeah. I was just talking about how, like, I don't know anything about Keegan Key and or whether or not he's, like, really passionate about voice acting the same way Jordan Peele's team is passionate about horror movies. I mean, he was in Transformers 1, and the studio fucked that movie over, but fucking... it was good, so it's not like he hasn't been in good movies. Also, I will stand by, fucking, if you want to watch the Mario movie, do it with the fucking audio off. Because his performance as Toad, while it is good, does not outweigh a minute or two ago. Were you? What do you mean 3 hidden? I do not see it. I'm going to be honest, Paula. I see no Parrot on here. I apologize. Yeah, there are good voice performances in the Mario movie, but I am of the opinion that the visuals carry that movie far more. Are people like fucking with me? It really feels now like people are fucking with me. This is why I'm a bad. This is another reason. This is another reason I've been streaming for too long. At the end of the day, I can't tell reality from fiction. I was already talking to friends not that long ago about, like, not about being immune to gaslighting, but that's the like that was the topic about gaslighting and whether or not someone would fall for gaslighting. No, I was like, Yazo. Paula, that's wild. I apologize for that, Paula. Cause like, yeah, cause it shows me. I believe you. It's just in the feed it shows sub, pig raid, sub. And Parrot should fall somewhere in between all those. And about gaslighting being immune, I was saying about how it's like, I'm not immune to gaslighting. It's more so that I'm just always confused. They're just always kind of confused and out of it, like a little bit at least. Like if you tell me something outlandish, it's less that I won't believe you and will be wholly immune to your gaslighting. It is more so that like I just won't be internalizing any of the conversation at all. Time out of it, yeah. Well, I was using mobile, but mobile's busted all the time, so fucking what else is new about that? But yeah. So like if we were having a conversation about something and you were gaslighting me, I would repeat back the thing you said to me, like if you were quizzing, which I would be fucked up. But yeah, I would do that. And you'd be like, ha, I've successfully gaslit them. 2 days later, completely moved on. What was that thing you wanted me to believe that apparently wasn't real? I completely forgot about what was happening. I don't remember what I had for lunch today. I have to be hyper-fixated on something to really remember it really well. So, the thing you said to me didn't fall into that category. And if it had, I would have known about it beforehand. Chimneys. Small castle chimneys. I definitely pressed on a different layer. Hey, so question. I've been playing Katamari, not the new one, the first one, the re-release of that. I might get the new one. I was looking at a VOD of it. It seems decently different, like legitimately, than the first one in certain ways. Not necessarily bad, but I don't know. To be determined later. I've heard people like it on the whole. But anyway, does anyone else find that game hard? Like, obviously it's not hard to do the goals and progress, but like in terms of being like, oh, getting your dad to say he's proud of you, finding presents, etc., etc. Anyone else find it hard in that regard? Like, would Katamari be a game that's considered hard to 100%? That's how it kind of feels to me. Like, doing everything in a Katamari level would be big ask. Katamari experts weigh in. We're standing by, waiting for your calls. This is looking pretty good. Also, I forget. Believe it's in this one. Oh. Do I have this shown off yet or no? Yeah. I was making a map of the world this castle would inhabit. Yeah. And I believe... Yep, there it is. So the castle would be right here. In that little divot, in that little bay. So I guess in this case, you'd be you'd be facing this way, and it would be the perspective of the image we are drawing. I hope you like my fantasy world. I don't have a funny follow-up to that. I put a big fucking forest in the middle. Because here's the thing, right? I really wanted to commit to the idea of, okay, fantasy world. And, like, in between a lot of major locations, massive, mysterious, spooky forest. We'll see what the critics think about that. I like it. I like woods. Forest, very pretty. Would wander in the woods again. Thank you so much for asking. So I was gonna put a bridge that basically came this direction where we're facing, but I decided that was ugly and impractical. So now people just have to walk around the water. And I mean, to be fair, it does make the castle easier to defend. If there's only one access point, which is a small bridge that they can see at all times. Yeah. To my irons, I can never get the right contact with those. I prefer wood to copper. I was never a big fan when they added copper to Minecraft. Even now that they have the copper tools. None for me, thanks. I'll just upgrade straight to iron. How many people like want new things in Minecraft? I can get the idea of wanting to keep the game fresh, but it's not like they've added like quote unquote more campaign stuff. It's always just more building stuff. And I don't know. I know that they added the mace, which does kind of seem cool, but I think now they've added a spear, which I'm kind of like. Also, I just realized, look, we got look at all the animators on board. Number went up. Oh, I just realized number went up. They should add a battle royale. I mean, people have basically already done that. Minecraft was doing that long before and traditional battle royales popped up. I don't think an official mode would do anything for anyone. I think most people would just keep using the player servers. As I'm drinking more water. Alrighty. He might end up doing color this stream. That would be wild. They should add a rhythm game mode. I don't think that's at all congruent. If anything, opposite direction of where I'm going. But then again, we've discussed that I don't have rhythm. And I'm probably not all too good at rhythm games even today. They should add. Well, now you just sound like the devs, Trom. They should add a gacha system. Now you just sound like the devs, but not of Minecraft. I feel like I'm being honest. Another reason I want to build a TCG for myself, say for myself. Hopefully, other people would like it. It was like, to some degree, there's a lot of games that like randomize what you get at the start. You know, what you are able to go into the game with, and that's fun game design, sure. And also, I think that's how Pig's game works, if I'm not mistaken. So, Pig, don't listen to this. You're fine. But I want to start. I like more games where it'd be like have access to like 90% of like build materials, you know. The interest being in what you're able to do with them, and the combinations you can make with them, and not just that, oh, I need to play for like 5 hours just to get the good stuff, to get the stuff to make a half decent build. Does that make sense? There's definitely more harsh criticism to the gacha system than that. Just like wanting other game design, but I don't know how much detail I should add here. Also, when did I switch the color mode of my fucking... Because I'm definitely going to be painting this a lot. They should add Kamurocho to Minecraft. They should add Katamari to Minecraft. I really, because I've never really been able to do mods in general. So to some degree, they've always been very fascinating to me. But on the other hand, eventually I've become very just like, what's the point? Like, there's the mod that turns Minecraft into Pokemon. And, like, I guess I get that one to a degree. But there's just mods turning the game into completely different game. And I'm just like, why are we doing fucking... Why are you playing this one then? You seem to be inferring you'd rather be playing this game instead. In that case, like a Dragon Raptor. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of them that are fun. I'm just saying. There's also a point where I'm just like, hold on. Maybe we've gone a bit too far. The only exception to this is Doom. If there's a mod for a game that allows you to play Doom within the confines of the game, that's acceptable and good. That's totally different. Like an Elder Dragon. Are you saying they should... I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like... Because, like, when I saw... When the one crossover event I've been around for previously was just Sonic with Rise in Monster Hunter. And I preferred that of them just adding fun costume to, like, interdimensional travelers. Now, that being said, the Final Fantasy 14 crossover seems neat, because I can get behind that. You're used to hunting monsters, and as opposed to a monster, like some kind of fucking robot has shown up out of nowhere. And, like, sure, it has Final Fantasy lore, but in the confines of the game, it's just a fucking robot that just came out of the woods and started kicking your ass. And that I can kind of get on with. Street Fighter stuff where it's just like a guy, wild guy is here. That one I'm a bit just like, just putting characters into Monster Hunter. I'm like, eh. Probably in part because Monster Hunter typically isn't a character-driven series. So, wasn't Guy Final Fight? Yeah, I was gonna say his name, but all I could think of was Akaza, which is that is Demon Slayer. So shout out Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man for being two of the biggest box offices this year. That's very fun. I'm having a lot of fun with that knowledge. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what big, specific big budget box office movies I would want them to beat out. But I'm gonna be honest, I did like First Steps, but if both of those outdid First Steps, outdid Fantastic Four, just as the one Marvel movie on the docket, I'd be fine with that. Trauma, you're just gonna list guys named Guy? Trauma, that'll be your last one. Lest you bring the wrath. I can't think of a punchline. Guy Fieri was the best punchline to that joke. So, Trauma beat me to it. I become Trom too. Oh damn. No. I apologize, Paula. I was looking at tiny preview as opposed to, I just saw Guy Fieri and I was like, there it is. Really am Batman. I've never seen Paula and Trom in the same room, if I'm being honest. I'm starting to think. I saw some videos recently about how Bruce Wayne being Batman is only obvious in the movies, where Batman is the only superhero and Bruce Wayne is never anywhere around when he is, etc., etc. But in the comics, it would be insane to suggest Bruce Wayne is Batman. Bruce Wayne has done ceremonies where Batman is present because, you know, he has someone filling in for him, yada yada yada, all that stuff. Bruce Wayne is very much a playboy idiot in the public eye. Bruce Wayne is always doing stuff, and Batman is fucking Batman. The movies just don't bother to really we're Batman for crumbs. Well, you're describing Spider-Man. And also they are doing poor Batman in Absolute Batman. So Sabs, I really hate to burst your balloon here. That's a fetish for some people. But who's Spider-Man? I'm gonna cough. You know what? I'm stinking thinking. I'm thinking we do color, which I don't often do here for many reasons. Mostly in that I don't typically color a lot of stuff I work on, but Alrighty. Time to color sample some beautiful skies. So what paint are we using for this? Watercolor? I do like watercolor. That's what check what we were talking about. I don't think we ever knew what we were talking about, Paula, so you're good. Alright. I think this will look good. My brain is also right. It's been a long week, okay? Cahill, it's Tuesday. It's been a long week. Alright. Let's not gonna so. If I do this, nothing. Nothing. See, this is why I typically don't do painting in the typical sense. Oh, I know. Because then it's like, well, let me thin gosh. Oh wait, this allows for some. Where's wrong? I think it might just be better if I just do my typical marker deal. I wish it'd be neat if I could paint. Not great at it, but I gave it one try. Alright. Alright. Dun, dun. Oh, so I bet we do this. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up some references real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Ow. I dropped my phone. I'm sorry, chat. I do kind of like this one. This one's nice. Wait, what if ocean cumulonimbus? Cumulonimbus clouds over ocean. Who doesn't love cumulonimbus? What a good cloud formation. Blems, Cahill? Blems? What about cumulonimbus clouds over forest? This is a... Okay, what about just cumulonimbus clouds? Nimbostratus, also known as blast. Over... No, I just want it... Horizon. How to pronounce? But oh, gotcha. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Bay Sky. Is that a brand? Kind of looks like a brand. Big fluffy clouds. Horizon. I don't think any of these are AI. Definitely don't fucking want them. Greatly prefer a distinct lack of AI photos. Thank you. I was like, this one seems like the best choice, so I think we're just gonna take this. Exclusive to Final. Himbo clouds. Cloud isn't a himbo. I can say that with certainty. He's a twink. We all know it. It's gonna show me my files, my precious files. Ah, that's too big. Oh, a cloud. Edit, transform, flip the other way for lighting purposes and for copyright purposes. I'm gonna use this as a reference image that no one's ever seen before, and it's just the Windows XP background. I'm gonna take the sky from the Disney photo, actually, because I think that's pretty good. Are there even a... Wait, can I make this a soft brush? With, no, I cannot. Add subtool soft. What about... That isn't at all. Well, oh, you know what I can do? I've done this before. Check this out! And I fall into the abyss. Man, at the start stream I was talking about big blocks of white. And I was like, that's dumb. Why did anyone ever do that? Look how the mighty have fallen. Truly, I am rat bastardess of them all. I've betrayed my cause, and for what? A good gradient? Yes. That is exactly what I'm... This one, need more reference photos. I just realized I can't see shit over the reference photos. For good gravy. Great googly moogly. Sell my soul for a corn chip. A good corn chip, but a corn chip. Oh, that's the... I put that on the wrong layer. Layers are fun. Layers of corn chips. Man, how bad are Pringles for you? Probably pretty bad, right? I ask because here's the thing. Pringles are also pretty tasty. Not sponsored. But you know, they are. And I don't eat them like a lot. As greasy as other chips. That's what I'm saying. And also they're not chips, they're rehydrated crisps. They got a lawsuit over that. Yeah, addictive properties are not great. Not a great sign for how healthy they are. That's for sure. They said, you know, it's really like, it can't be bad for you, because I start shaking uncontrollably anytime I don't have it. I want Pringles now. How could you do this to me? Easily, because I mentioned Pringles. Because you want to know something, Paula? I'm the same way. I too think of Pringles once and then go, aw, I must have them now. You know what I never try to do? We're gonna try to do this a little painterly. Because like I never try to like just draw a cloud with like shades. You know? I'm gonna try. Oh, you betcha I'm gonna try. Oh, you betcha. Oh, don't go taking my clouds now. I'm sorry. Truly, this is why no one comes to my streams. What's Cahill doing now? Well, start talking in a Wisco accent for some for God knows what reason. I'm gonna switch to this one because oh yeah, I love me some Pringles. Hey there, Tad's the name. Tad's strange, and I love being normal. Loving you, Tad, and I love bread. The humble yeast being prepared for the oven. I need to be bread. I was telling friends about how that is a new VTuber clip going around. Very funny. Very funny. Making bread one of these days. Isn't sourdough notoriously easy to make? Frankly, I would like to be able to make, you know, like straight up white bread. You know? Sourdough is tasty. But I would love to be able to make a bread and then being like, did you buy this? And I'm like, no. I made it from the wheat in my backyard and the yeast from my basement. And then they'll leave my house because I mentioned using the yeast in my basement for anything. From an unknown source, just Apple showing up. I do wonder, because I was literally mentioning earlier this stream, and I've mentioned before, like, as much as I'm just like, man, I don't like 9 to 5s in general. Fuck that. Fuck that. Let me live a nice, quiet life, right? But I don't think I could be a farmer for multiple reasons, as I was saying, you know. But like with that in mind, fucking. Also, I have no. Hey, to be clear, I have no idea what I'm doing. If you're looking at me going at this and being like, "Wow, he must really know," he must have seen a lot of references on how to, like, you know, draw clouds with pure color. No, I'm fucking winging this anyway. But I was literally just saying about how, like, I don't know if I could be a farmer for so many reasons. And with that in mind, are there a number of, like, food items where I could just, like, set it and forget it? It's like, Cahill, how do you live? It's like, I have good well of water, a sourdough starter that is older than I am, and a while ago I planted an orchard of apple trees in my backyard, and now they just kind of do their own thing, and I come around picking apples whenever the fuck I feel like, you know? There's lots of plants you gotta pay close attention to. But sometimes there are plants that will make food whether you want the food or not. Stop it. Stop giving me your apples. I don't want your dirty apples anymore. feel like I get a lot of Apple. Chat is just talking about Apple products, which, to be clear, are good. I'm continuing Johnny Appleseed's legacy here. Potato. I mean, listen. I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of mashed potatoes, because obviously, if I was, like, that's the ball game. That's like fucking plant a potato, pick it up, mash it, plant a potato. You know, like easiest thing in the world. But you put a little elbow grease into preparing those bad boys. I'm there for you. Fry them up, cook them up a little salt. Now we're talking. Anyway, what was I thinking of? All right, I get a lot of Apple products mixed up. Apple turnovers, apple pie, apple cider. They all kind of blend together in my mind in that they're apples. Mashed potatoes are great. I just don't really like them. Personally, and plenty of people will say it's because you don't have good mashed potatoes. I just don't like if I bite into something and I'm like, ah, this is unchanged from the potato's core. I get very upset. Okay. So, we have our cloud shape here. Put toppings. So that's what everyone says. There's no, I don't know how much I talk about this on stream. And to be clear, Paula, this is not at you. But this is just general for conversations going forward with anyone. If I say I don't like X, I don't like this food item, and then you say you haven't had it prepared this way, you haven't had it how I've made it, I need you to know I will have you make me that item, right? I'll have you, you know, back up your words with actions. And then you will give that item to me. I will take a forkful. I will attempt to eat it, and I will gag very hard and throw it out. I am not a picky eater by choice. I don't like living like this. Okay? Do you think I enjoy being able to eat maximum 20 foods in all of existence? And just be generally socially frowned upon for my negative response to anything I don't like even a little bit? No. It's not a good way to live. But I do not get a choice in that. So. I just had to say that. Because like I said, Paula did do the thing where it's like, oh, you haven't had it this way. And I'll be like, I guarantee you, 1 10, 100% I guarantee you. It will be, shan't matter. It shall not matter. Because my body is a freak of nature and does not want me to live, actively working against me living. Between picky eating and asthma, I would have died in medieval Europe. Very easily. They would have tried to, even if I had gotten past like an asthma attack or eaten enough to live, they would have tried to fix me, you know, the way they do that. And the moment the doctor inserts a steel spike into my head, I would have died. That's true. Mashed potatoes are definitely one of the types of foods you can prepare in different ways. Thus, if I say I don't like them, it's like, well, I do them a special way, and it's like, I'm sure you do, but I will hurt your feelings if I try to eat them. So sorry. It's for your own good. I'm sorry, little one. You know what might be a good way to do this? Actually, yeah, here's what we'll do. I think I have something. I think I know a way. No, wait, no. That's not what I have. Okay. Cahill draws castle for half the stream, other half him figuring out you know, figuring out how to draw clouds. Meet the Flintstones. Don't ask me why I'm thinking about that during this Final Fantasy music. Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. They're the Yabba Dabba family. I don't think I've seen a single episode of the Flintstones. I have ever eaten fruit gummy and Fruity Pebbles. Not a bad way to be introduced to them. Let's be real. Like, could I just do two-tone? Is that gonna look bad? Are people gonna be real mad at me for doing two-tone clouds? Two-tone and Tony. He only wears 2 colors a day. It's harder than you think. I've made a mistake. Up. Window. Workspace. Set to default. Yes. Blend. Nope. Blend. Seriously, how the fuck do people draw clouds? I'm looking up a video. Look at a real cloud for reference. I see. Okay. I'll try this. With very spiky hair. We've already been making that joke. We can't keep doing this, Derek. Okay. Color this in. Great. Then select the shadow. Let's not pick the darkest shadow, like... That should be good, honestly. It'd be great if I could just, like, you know, use the image, but that's cheating. I wouldn't consider a lot cheating in art, but also... Oh, okay, I was about to say. There we go. I didn't realize this wasn't default, but... I love people hearing the tutorial I'm using in art while I'm doing art. If only I twas Bob Ross. Then I would know all the secrets of clouds because they would have whispered them in my dreams. That's why he didn't tell anyone. That he knew the Cloud Lords. How else do you explain his hair? Oh. There we go. Back to it. Painting's hard. Painting is very hard. I don't know if anyone knew this. But fuck AI though. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If the first thing you do after finding out something is hard is to say, I'm just not gonna do it, you're gonna steal. I think I know everything I need to know. I'm being totally honest. No stealing. Unless you're like a Robin Hood. And AI is not Robin Hood. It's made by rich people. This is why we need English class. Just make a happy little brush. I'm going to start drawing, but instead of using any default brush, I will in fact be using a brush shaped like Bob Ross's head. And my paintings, I mean my drawings, because I don't paint, typically. Typically I don't paint. But they are going to start looking the part with my Bob Ross brush. I'm gonna be honest, Bob Ross brush is kind of a tongue twister. Happy little clouds. I feel like I was thinking something about like the clouds in Mario or something the other day. I forget. Either clouds in Mario or clouds in Kirby I was thinking about. Why was I thinking about either of them? Amazing question. Not a bad start. There's that. Dun, dun, dun. Clouds and Mario? He is. It's called Super Smash Bros. Ganondorf. Bowser Jr. Remember when Mario fought Sephiroth? Remember when Sora fought Sephiroth? Remember when Ariana Grande fought Sephiroth? Sephiroth just fucking loves fighting people. Gonna be real. Apologies to Cloud. I thought we had something special. No Cloud. He's a whore. Have you seen him? Just evil Goku? No, because Goku isn't in that many crossovers, if we're being honest. Sephiroth has his own thing going on. And he is not voiced by Sean Schimmel. Dearest Schimmel, I hope you're doing well. Rest up those vocal cords, you scream a lot. I did put in Discord not too long ago about how apparently the Japanese voice actress, because the lady who does it in the original sub is for Goku. They're like, we would like to pay you a lot of money for the rest of your life for having played Goku. Which I think is nice. I'm not, you know, you probably had. What are your thoughts on Hot Pockets? I've never tried them, probably wouldn't like them. You might say, aren't they just kind of pizza, which you do eat? I'd say yes. I still wouldn't like them. I've been down that rabbit hole before. This is ingredients I like in other things. I should like it here. Rabbit hole. Doesn't go. It never goes the way you think it's gonna go. Which is to say, well. Totina's Pizza Rolls. Sponsor of the boy mayor of Second Life. What are you doing here? Not wait to see if I regret. Well, are you a picky eater, Paula? You're always asking me for input on what to eat during streams. But frankly, I'm not about, because the chances someone would say something I do not want to eat is high. Being a picky eater. What kind? Yeah, just plain kind? I feel like if you just get regular pizza rolls, hard to go wrong if you already know you like pizza rolls and you're not a picky eater. Not really a picky eater. There you go. Carefully fill in the mid-ranges. It's called the Midwest because everything in it is mid. I don't watch wrestling, but that monologue is very funny. I'm sorry, Midwest. Mid. I went with Philly cheesesteak. Don't have a wide selection to choose from. See, I'm not a big beef guy. Like, I'll eat some beef as a picky eater. Like, I'll enjoy a good steak. Which, to be clear, when I first tried steak, didn't like it at all. I said, no thank you, never again. And then I tried it one more time. It went okay. And now some steak I find okay enough to eat. But that also means that I'm not really big on cheesesteaks despite being from Philly. So. How's this looking so far? Looking alright. If I end up just like... I'll probably use the one technique I saw in that video before I press blur on the cloud, but... It'll be interesting to see. Clouds, 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 clouds. I was saying I love Final Fantasy VII. And this ended up being a very cloud themed stream. Welcome back to cloud themed. Did I accidentally? I did. Did not mean to do that. It'll be a good stream to fall asleep to, I'll tell you that much. Between gentle guitar music and drawing fluffy clouds. Experience with Hot Pockets as a kid, and I haven't touched them since. And go, okay, might try the meatball ones. See, I can't remember the last time I gave something I had a bad experience to. A bad experience with a chance. Like, that's where my diet's at. Which is not a good thing to be. Not a humble brag, not a brag at all. 'Cause it's bad for me. But what was I just thinking of? But yeah, salutes to Paula, because I wish you luck with your Hot Pockets. And then get Totina's pizza rolls. I'm just remembering the times the McElroys were sponsored by Totina's pizza rolls, and it makes me laugh. Brands don't do fun stuff anymore. They just fucking try to put AI in their shit. And get boycotted. Modern brands don't know anything. All they know is use AI and lie. Pink. figure they probably have changed a bit in the last couple decades, and my taste buds have probably changed a bit since I again I can't relate. Which I feel bad about. Probably. That's the spirit, Paula. I can't share the spirit, but I can recognize it. I can recognize it and say, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to tone down on just very snacky food a bit. My family really gets on me about that. I don't think my snacking's as bad as they kind of point it out to be sometimes, but you know, definitely want to try to eat healthier over years, that's for sure. Even if I am pickier. I do like fruits, luckily. Fruits have always largely been good for me. Very rarely do they give me issues. I don't always super like feel like eating a fruit. But I'm not going to not necessarily gonna get sick at one, so as well. Eat healthy, y'all, or at least try to. I don't know. I'm always talking about how I'm like, and I remember I didn't watch the video. I saw a video talking about like how nutritional science is such a fucking minefield, because you know the studies are obviously love to do a million different things all the time. I would say just use common sense. Best you can, you know. Talk to your doctor. See if fruit is right for you. No, you have a wild fruit allergy. Couldn't recommend eating those. You already know about that. I'm surprised you asked me. I mean, here's the thing. It is clobbering time. Also, don't look too bad. Yeah. I do think once I blend this in, like, I would prefer if it blends a bit, I want the cloud to be prominent, but also I don't want it to be like sticking out too much from the sky itself. You know, I don't want it to look too much like an object you should be paying attention to, as opposed to the castle. It is starting to look pretty good. I think maybe we'll add like this splotch of gray at this level. there's a bigger dark spot right here. And then I think that should be good, if I'm being completely honest. And then the video I was watching was just talking about one specific blending mode to use to put it all together, and then I imagine blurring and stuff will help after that. Draw in clouds. But if I zoomed out and it was just after all this time it was just cloud from FF7, it's like, there we go, guys. Alright, that looks perfect. Like, that is. You know what, I don't know if I really want to do all this right now, but this was the one they were recommending. Okay, I can see it. Yeah, I can, okay. We might just do this right now, right here, right now. I can see exactly what they were talking about in the video. Yeah, I'd love to just do like straight up painting techniques, but that's always the thing with digital workspaces. The traditional techniques don't necessarily always apply in a lot of ways. Because even if you have a digital workspace that's really trying really hard to emulate the real world, it's not exactly an easy task. Jarvis, give me a one-to-one recreation of the real world so I can do oil paints. Sir, that would take enough resources to build a small nation. Are you sure you don't just want to go to Michael's? Jarvis, you heard me. Jarvis, build the Matrix. So that way I can draw furry furry rule 34. I can't believe you built me, sir. I really can't sometimes. I know, I'm good. Not what I was getting at. Not at all what I was saying. You don't want to overwork. That's something in painting that can be very hard, and is definitely applicable to digital spaces. Overworking stuff, that's a whole thing. Never want to overwork stuff. Don't want to overwork yourself. Oh wow, that is looking good. I imagine with some blur, this will look perfect. Blur, and then maybe turn down the opacity just so it gets more of the color of the sky in there. Easy little hack in case maybe the colors are a bit off from the background. I love just doing like I love when art can just evolve into like finger painting sometimes. Doesn't matter how fancy you're working. Sometimes like, well, I need this to be smudgy. So I think the only course of action we can take here is to smudge it with my bare hands. That's what Michelangelo did to the David's balls. Oh, yours needs to be all smushed and wrinkly. Well, I can do that. History with Cahill. It's true, it happened. It's history. I was there. What if I built... What if... To be clear, this would be anyone but me, but what if, like, I built a time machine that could go anywhere in time and space, and I was using it to host a history show where I go back and tell real accounts about, like, you know, historical figures and what have you, things of interest people want first-hand accounts of, only for, like, you guys to discover, oh, he hasn't been going back in time to visit, like, Michelangelo or, like, Einstein or anyone. He's been going back to, like, last Friday and hanging out at a 7-Eleven before coming back to the present and then just making shit up. I think that would be funny. Okay, two things you need to know about me. I do own a time machine. I am also notoriously a liar. Now you might say, is he lying about owning a time machine? No. This is where the fun part comes in. The time machine is real, and you can go see it if you would like. You cannot use it. Don't ask. Only I can use the time machine. You just need to decide whether or not the facts I'm telling you about the future or past are real or are things I've made up for my entertainment. And you might say, well, he's a liar. So clearly everything he says is made up, right? Hmm? You'll never know. Lord, I need to look up... y'all know the thing where it's like one of us tells the truth, one of us tells a lie. I need to look up the original version of that. Because I know the thing from Samurai Jack. I haven't even seen all of Samurai Jack, but I've seen that. Of like him asking the two, and then both of them are liars. But he figures it out by being like, well, I'll ask you this, and then knowing what the other would say, I can deduce who it is. I need to know if that's like how the actual story goes. That's the thing that comes from has to also come with like the answer, right? It's like the Sphinx, you know. Famously, the Sphinx's puzzle is what walks on 4 legs in the morning, two legs in the day, and then 3 legs in the evening. And it's like, oh, it's a man, because 4 legs are crawling, 2 legs for legs, and then 3 legs for your cane. When you're old, in the eve of your life. But what else was I thinking of? So like, it's not as though there aren't that famous riddles don't typically come also with the answer. Famous riddle from history, but no one fucking knows what it is because no one bothered to write down the answer. Namekian, they can only grow back 1 leg. Took them all day just to grow that 1 leg back. And you know, we're accommodating to them. It's just a shame of all of us to lose their legs. Why him? Why, Kami? Why? Kami's like, I don't even go here anymore. I've been on Earth forever. I haven't been in the series since like halfway through. Like a little over halfway through. I haven't been hyper relevant since like Z, and even then. I really feel like I cannot stress enough how much I feel like people calling characters beside, I mean, in the Buu saga kinda, but Goku's characters beside Goku and Vegeta like irrelevant. How much of a hyperbole that is. Cause it's not like fucking Puro was a major fighter in Dragon Ball. You know who the biggest OG Dragon Ball character is besides Goku? Bulma. Do you know who's still always in the series? Bulma. I feel like Yamcha's kinda... He's kinda the closest to someone who like was relevant and then stopped being super strong, but Tien definitely, but he had more of an antagonist role to start. Yeah, I got. Oh, okay. You guys just want me to see clouds for longer. You said I'm going to keep him drawing clouds for a long ass time. What were you doing, Oki? What were you doing? They were doing Alan Wake. I know fucking nothing about Alan Wake besides that the second one includes a sick musical number that a lot of people really like. I hope you had a good time. Oh, also that's a little spooky. But I hope you had a good time. Welcome on in, Raiders. If you don't know me, I'm Cahill. I'm an artist who also likes playing games. I've been working on making my own card game and comic recently. The card game is more turning into like a book. The comic is unrelated. Comic is just because I like comics. Shocking to me. I have a proper Alan Wank. Damn, that's... You can't say that on Twitch. Mr. Twitch will get fucking furious. He hates any references to masturbation. Mr. Twitch eats plain Kellogg's cornflakes and reminisces about the days when those were meant to stop masturbation as opposed to encouraging it. Cause like fuck, I mean, Tony, you tell me Tony the Tiger is supposed to make you anything besides horny. You tell me that and I will know you are lying. Also, I just learned to draw clouds this stream. Awake awakes. Alan Wake awakens. Who is this action man? Oh no, it's John Wick. I should see the rest of the John Wick movies. John Wick is such storytelling 101. Because, like, I saw the first one and it fucking ruled. But it also kind of rules because, again, it's storytelling 101. You got to see John live a great life, lose it, and then only have a dog as his like consolation prize, right? And then the first thing that happens in the actual plot is the dog dies. And after that, everything he does is excused. Hey, you wanna know something? Yeah. That's fine. Spoilers. That is... Paula, I told you about the first 20 minutes of the movie. Which has had 3 sequels, so... Okay, guys, spoiler for the new Chainsaw Man movie, Chainsaws. There are very few, like, medias. I don't think that's the right word for that, but anyway. Medias where I would say that, where I would be like, yeah, you can't spoil the first, like, the inciting incident or the, or any of that stuff. You gotta leave that unspoiled for folks. Most stuff I'd say that's whatever. About the dog and the son. I didn't know there was a son. That might be in a later movie. Unless you're talking about Alan Wake. In which case, I didn't know there was a dog or a son. My mom saw one of my comics recently. And if you haven't been reading my comics, can you? They're fun. They got pirates. They got action. They got rubber hose cartoons. I promise you'll like it, maybe. Anyway. But yeah, my recent villain of my comic is Sun Wukong. And my mom saw me spell that. And she was just like, wouldn't it be S-O-N? And I was like, no, his name is Sun. Like the sun. Technically, his name is Monkey, but, you know. You can't write 1,000 chapters of a story and have a character go by a name that vague. Son of the guy who killed that dog. Oh yeah, son of, like, mob boss son, yeah. I thought you meant John Wick's son, which I don't think exists. And John Leguizamo punches him. I'm bad with actors' names, so I'm going to say probably. If you lined up 4 men in front of me and asked 4 famous men and asked me who is John Leguizamo, I would say I don't know. Could be any one of these famous men. Filter. That might crash stream actually. As my computer attempts to render an image into fine mist. Hey, played. Did he? Damn. Because I do know who the mob boss is in John Wick. So I'd recognize him like that. saying that he played Luigi in live action Mario Bros. Paints a whole new light on it. That'd be wild. That'd be wild if true. Paula could be gaslighting me. I don't think Paula would do that. But like I said earlier in the stream, I'll forget either way very soon. I'm gonna do this. And then I love inventory management. Also, Sid the Sloth. I don't believe that at all, but surely not Sid the Sloth. Surely not Sid the Science Kid. I'm just gonna bring the light over here a bit more. And then also blur these edges a bit more. Box them in. Alrighty. We're gonna need to add the water in the reflections and da-da-da. But I'm thinking this is pretty good and that I need to go to bed for work. So I appreciate y'all joining me for that. Also, if Oki's here wants to suggest someone to raid, feel free. Because you raided me not too long ago. But that did prompt me to finish my cloud work. So that's fun. I think I'm gonna raid Chen. I haven't raided Chen in a while. Oh my goodness, Chen is playing Still Wakes the Deep. That game rules. That is a really cool story game. Yeah, let's raid Chen. Other friend. So, I appreciate y'all coming by, hanging out. As opposed to illustration book work, tomorrow we will be working on what was I thinking of? On the comic. So I hope to see you there for that. And yeah, that'll be the week. So I appreciate you hanging out. And I will see y'all another time. Have a good one. Bye.